Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another edition of Curtis and Holly Go Live. So, today, me and Holly are going to be going live for probably about half an hour, 45 minutes, maybe less, maybe a little bit longer. We're going to be talking about a couple things. Usually, we talk about PR. Today, we're going to have a little bit of a different topic that we're going over. And it's going to be a surprise as soon as Holly sends me a request to join. Bam. And I think I lost her. Maybe I didn't. Oh, you're here, Holly.
Hello.
Thought I for a second there. How's it going, Holly?
I'm good. It's like the weather has now turned and it feels like October, so I'm freezing all the time,
I was
which
just
is,
asking, are you wearing a jacket? But no.
yeah, it's so cold. I don't do well in cold.
Is it the end of summer now, though?
We'll get maybe another couple of weeks in September of nice weather,
Mm-hmm.
but August always goes funny for some reason.
Like, can you're
Um,
cold, or what do you mean?
we just get loads of like rain and stuff in August, so
Here it's like here it can get up to 40 degrees until the end of September.
wow.
Yeah, we had a heat wave. I think it was 2 years ago, where it was like 38, 39, 40 mid-September, end of September. And usually October, there's a couple days where it's up to like 28, 29. And at the end of October, it finally and then it gets freezing
Hmm.
in September. So you would not like Canada. So hey, what's our topic for today, Holly?
Is it positivity? You changed it last minute.
So we can talk about both things if you want.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Okay, so what do you want to talk about first?
Positivity first might be a good one.
Okay, so you can start since you are the expert, the schooled one, the one with 30 degrees,
Okay.
and let,
Right.
let me hear Holly Royal's educated take on positivity before my uneducated take comes in.
I mean, I don't know. I feel as though it's unrealistic to expect to be positive about everything all of the time. But I think there's having a the right mindset so that you don't get caught up in all like the numbers game and then end up in a downward spiral because of that. Because obviously, if you're in a bad mindset, I think all of the marketing isn't necessarily going to work and it's going to show through social media posts and things like that. So I think it's sort of keeping in mind the bigger picture of what you want to do with your music and then breaking it down into little steps.
So
I
what?
think that can help.
So to clarify for me, just make sure we're both on the same page. So what would you consider to be positivity in marketing? Like, give me an example of what you think. I want to make sure we're on the same page.
I would consider it to be sort of looking at meaningful results. So yeah, so the results that are actually going to lead to sales rather than just focusing purely on getting, I don't know, 20,000 Instagram followers because that doesn't guarantee your band is going to be successful.
Okay, so I don't know if I agree with all this. Let's have,
Okay.
let's have a negative discussion about positivity here then. Uh, Lightly. So I think I kind of agree to a degree. I think, but I think one thing that I do is not necessarily about numbers and stuff like that, but it's more like
Mm.
when people are posting things where they're like pity partying themselves and stuff. I hate that with a fucking passion. I hate the fucking pity party. Do you know what I mean? I just
Yeah.
pity party, you know. I mean, I know people have a bad day, but it's like too much of that can be a drag.
I think there's a way of doing it carefully. So I don't know. So yeah, if a band or an artist has been quiet for a while, I think doing a sort of honest post of, "Oh, I've been away because I've not been feeling good" or something like that is useful because then people know that they've not just dropped off the face of the earth for no reason. But
Right?
yeah, doing it all of the time when it's not necessarily relevant,
Yeah.
um, yeah, that's not always a good idea.
Like if you were posting, for example, I'm disconnected souls, like let's say the front woman Holly, even though you're not the front woman, the keyboard Holly decided to keep posting every day about how she wanted to like slit her wrists and like, you know, everybody sucks.
Oh, wow.
Well, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah,
Those
that's an extreme example.
yeah, well, you know what I mean. But I mean, like,
Yeah,
if you were doing something like that, I'd be like, Holly, what
no
the
concerning.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
what, but if you were like, okay, but if I know you're not, but I probably shouldn't be using you as an example because it sounds really bad. You make a post saying I was having suicidal thoughts, but I considered, blah blah blah. I think that would be appropriate.
Mm.
What are your feelings on this?
Yeah, I think it's just doing it carefully. Yeah, it's kind of a, I don't know, I get nervous sometimes about doing posts that might be upsetting to other people as well. Like the last thing I want to do is trigger someone else as well. So it's kind of, I'd probably, yeah, like you say, talk about the thing, but
Yeah,
maybe not go into too much detail or try and bring a positive in there as well, so it's not all doom and gloom.
yeah, exactly. That's the way I mean, I'm a little bit more blunt than you are, though. Too. You're a little bit more nicer than I am.
Yeah, I sugarcoat things a bit more than you do.
Well, if it's sugarcoat, you're just you're more respective of people's feelings. I'll just say something,
um,
and you know what I mean.
yeah,
True. I mean, it's a fault of mine, and I realize that. But I mean, you do tend to not necessarily sugarcoat, but you're what's the right word? You're nice when you
I'm nice.
say something. I like. I mean, I'll do like Holly. What the fuck is blah blah blah? Well, meanwhile, you'll DM me and say, Curtis, I hope you're having a good day. Blah 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 blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, meanwhile, I know deep down I'm the same thing I am. So anyway, back to the positivity here for a second here. So how would you kind of think that would be a good way, or how would it be a good way for a band to put positivity, even if they're a negative band?
I think sort of celebrating the small things can be a good way of doing it. So if it's, pointing out when it's the band members' birthdays, or if they've got, I don't know, any really close fans, maybe giving them shout outs and things, and little, I don't know, celebrations if they sell so many CDs or if they reach so many streams, things like that. Because it's kind of one of those things. I mean, I think the audience want to celebrate with the band, so it's kind of nice to all do it together.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it means you can still be like a really doomy, gloomy, like, I don't know, singing just about death band, but still, I don't know, have like a nice edge, if that kind of makes sense.
It does. It does. But there's a lot of bands that do, like for example, can do that quite well, where she can do like dark posts and then the next day it's like something positive, right?
Mm.
Like negative, but like like black metal type post next day, like
Yeah.
Positive. And then there's a lot of people that do the exact same thing. But I think as well, I think the main thing that people need to keep in mind is that when people are listening to music, they're listening to them to escape a lot of the time.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Maybe
Yeah.
viewpoint, but like I think like a band like if Disconnected Souls is constantly focusing on the positive, for example, on their posts versus kind of talking about negative shit like world events, everything sucks, that type of thing. I think they're just going to get more people buying the music. Your thought is?
Yeah, it's difficult because on our social media I don't talk much about, news items and political stuff and things like that.
No.
And it's not because it's not because we don't care or anything, but I kind of think, yeah, one, it's an escapism thing. And again, I don't want to trigger people or upset people or just get involved into something that could blow up. At the same time, I then kind of worry, oh, does it look like we don't care?
Ollie's scared. Be a good dick, Ollie, as usual. Be a good dick.
No, it's one of those internal battles I have where I'm like, I want people to know that we're aware of what's going on and we care about the things, but I don't want to be talking, because I see some bands at the minute where they're just tweeting, all the time about political stuff, because it's relevant, but it does feel a bit like, I don't know. Yeah, maybe they should be focusing on something else.
Yeah, it just causes a fight. If you know it's going to cause a fight, it's probably better to get into it. Especially, I mean, even if you're right, it's like there's still no point in stirring up stuff if you don't need
Yeah.
but I mean, again, if you're like a political band and that's your thing, that might be something that you should be doing. But like Souls, like you guys are based on a video game. I'm mistaken. Like, I don't know, seems like a bit off brand to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like bands could maybe, if they really wanted to, just do one post that acknowledges
Yeah.
what's going on, but then they leave it as that. Yeah.
I agree 100%. But we at C Square do that because I have a policy to do not do anything.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just reminding you to put our Instagram account.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm not putting anything on it. It's fine.
Tomorrow you're gonna put something super political and super controversial. I'm gonna be like, what the fuck, Holly? I did. And this is what I'm gonna be doing. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Kidding. Okay, so let's go over some tips really quick on positive media. So give 3 top tips on how to be positive on social media. Top tips.
Well, I think my first one is going to be the celebrate the little things, because I think a lot of people just forget to, or they don't realize that it's something that could be celebrated. Second thing, I think this possibly sounds a little bit like the first one. I don't know. Kind of focus on the positives, even if the situation isn't great. So if, I don't know, you're not achieving the sales targets you wanted to, for example, you can still celebrate the fact that you've sold however many so far, or that you have got supporters and things like that. So, go on.
Give an example. Give how you would do this. Like, let's say you only sold 5 CDs. You were aiming for. How would you spin that to be positive?
I'd probably keep the numbers out of it, but just do a thing of like, oh, thank you so much to everyone who has ordered a CD so far, or something like that. I do that a little bit anyway. At the moment, sort of, you might have noticed. I don't know. Every now and again, I mention it on DS's stuff anyway.
Yep.
Because I feel as though it's a nice way to. I don't know. You might disagree with this, but I feel like it's a nice way to kind of suggest that people should be buying our CDs without screaming, buy our merch, because I don't like doing that.
I agree 100%. I think you're doing fantastic on your Instagram, and I think you're doing fantastic on your Facebook.
Cool, thank you.
And you got one more tip left, Holly, and I'm going to try to think of 3 because you stole 2 of mine.
I guess, okay. So my third one is, if you're going to talk about something that maybe is a bit negative, so, I don't know, had mental health issues or something like that has happened, end it with a positive. Because then you can still talk about bad stuff without it feeling all horrible.
I agree. So, example of you and you went and you punched in the face. You guys had a big argument. You punched in the face. You felt bad about it. But you learned at the end that everything can be resolved. Right?
Yeah.
Fletcher's going to watch. He's going to be like, Holly would never punch me. We always make you look to be like the mean one. I don't know how we manage to do it, but we always make you look to be the mean one.
It's fine.
Yeah. Everybody's going to feel like a serial killer by the end of the month. Jesus. Okay, so I got 3 to do, right? So my number 1 was going to be shout outs as well, except I'm trying to do it a little bit different than what you're talking about here. I think that it's not necessarily just your fans you need to shout out, but other bands, other people.
Ooh, yes.
Right. A good example would be like Jamie's watching right now. So if Disconnected Souls or C Squared or whatever decided to do a shout out to Jamie, because Jamie does a lot of shit for this. He does premieres at Ripple, his own radio show. It's called Fistful of Doom, that he plays music on, and you could do a post talking about Jamie, about how awesome it is, and about how awesome it is that he does premieres for C Squared, blah 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 blah, and write that on the disc. I'm not saying do this. Just write that on the Disconnected Souls page, for example, and then that would show Jamie, for example, that you do appreciate what he does. And the other thing, too, is that 90% of the time when you do that for somebody, they're also going to share.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they're going to share the post, and that looks good on them. It also looks good on you, but more importantly, it makes the other person look good. Because the one thing that I always think should be done, any type of PR for anybody, is that the band or the person, whoever's doing the PR, should always try to make focus be on someone else versus just themselves, if that makes sense. Like you want stuff, but like if I'm promoting C Squared, I'm not going to promote Curtis Stewart. I'm going to promote you, or I'll promote Corey, or I'll promote Gaia, or Aaliyah, or Ez, or Keith, or whoever, right? But if I was in a band as well, and like let's say I was the keyboardist running the socials, for example, I would be myself promoting the other band members as my main thing. While promoting, as a hint.
Yes, I see. Yeah, that's a very obvious hint, but noted.
Well, I mean, it's like for anybody, right? I think because I mean,
Oh, yeah.
the more that you push other people up, the more you're going to get pushed up eventually, if not directly. So, but at the same time, I do also think that you are the face of the band, and you do need to keep pushing your face out there at the same time. That wasn't a dig.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a balancing act.
It is a balancing act. I mean, at the same time, we've had the discussion before, and I know someone's going to call me sexist for saying this, but the woman in the band is the one that most people always want to be paying attention to. Holly's going to kill me for saying this, but I'm saying it anyways.
It's unfortunate because it's true. So it's, yeah.
I mean, 90% of the interview requests we're going to be getting are going to be for you. It's not going to be for everybody else. The way it goes. That was number 1, wasn't it? So I need to come up with...
Yeah, you got 2 more.
Okay, so we got the shout outs already. So also, another good thing that's positive is if you single out, or not single out, but if you randomly gift a band on social media.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
That download, it doesn't have to cost the person. Or it could just simply be like let's say you got stickers. You say, I'm going to send you stickers, or a CD for like we talked about, or it's something. But like a download, I think gifting someone that randomly can always go a long way and spread a lot of positivity. And now I got to think about a third one. What's a good third one? Oh, a good third one is, this kind of goes back to the shout out. Oh, here's a good one. Do a playlist of features of bands that you know.
Oh, yes. And
it's kind of a shout out, but you tag them on it. And if you can also get someone with a large audience to share it, boom. What do you think of those 3 tips? Good?
Yeah, that works really well. Because I mean, I find even with the Spotify, even if it doesn't get you a load of streams, it usually gets you a few followers and builds up a network of bands anyway. So it can have like an indirect sort of benefit to it.
100%. Well, the other thing too, on top of that, is it also just shows the other band that you're putting on the stream, or rather the Spotify playlist, value them, and that you actually think that they're a good band on top of it. So, what else do we want to go over on positivity before we go to our second part of this chat?
Should we do how to be positive when your reviews are bad?
Oh, yes, I can do that. I know that. Let's hear Holly first, although I think you know what I'm going to say.
I know what you're going to say.
Tell me yours. You can even steal mine if you want. I don't mind.
No, I won't steal yours. Yeah, my kind of thing with it is... Oh, actually, I don't know. Did you see the tweet that I did on Disconnected Souls earlier today?
I don't think I checked your Twitter today.
Okay, that was... I could have mentioned it briefly because that's kind of what it's about. How you're never going to please everyone, but that's actually a good thing. Because if you're not pleasing everyone, then it means that you're doing something a little bit different that's going to appeal to like a very specific number of people.
I agree.
Where those people are going to really love you and they're going to support you and buy merch and buy music and all of that sort of thing. And in some ways, bad reviews can be good because some of them can have constructive criticism. Some of them don't. Some of them are just bad, but then you can, I don't know, just view it as it's press. It's exposure. Well, as long as it's not really bad.
Well, I don't know about you, but I have bought albums based on bad reviews.
See, I haven't, but that's not because the bad review put me off.
Well, here's what I've had happen, because back You're 26, right? 25?
I'm 24.
24? What do I think? You're fucking older than that. Holy-
I don't know.
Okay, you're a baby. God damn it. Okay, so okay, back when I was younger, back in the day, 34 for anybody. So back, God damn it, I'm almost double your age. Holy shit.
You know, not quite.
Almost.
No.
Yeah. Fuck. Anyways, so now that I've been thrown off by how young my freaking coworker is, anyways, back in the day, the only way you could really ever find out about an album was through a magazine, like print magazine.
Mm.
So you'd go and you buy the print magazine and read the reviews, and that would be the literally the only way you could know whether you might like an album, or if they had the music video on Much Music or MTV or what. So there would be a number of times I'd read it like just an absolutely shit review of something. My kids are near potty. Then turn it down, Jamie. I'm not responsible for your kids. My kids are upstairs watching an area. I got thrown off there. Back in the day, so there would be like awful reviews, but like let's say it'd be a bad review of, for example, a death metal band, and they would say the death metal band sucks and they sound like Obituary. So I liked Obituary. Reviews sucked, so I see the album, pick up the album as a result of it, and a lot of times I would like it. So bad reviews can actually help. I know that I've also seen other people do that as well, but I'm surprised you haven't.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I've not actually read that many bad reviews, to be honest. So maybe I'm just reading the wrong publications. Bad ones.
With print magazines, they used to have a lot more. My internet sucks, and I can barely hear you if I turn it down, fucker. I have like Jesus. I do not have shitty internet. Maybe my volume's turned down. I don't know. Can you hear me fine, Holly?
Mm-hmm.
So it's Jamie. Jamie's just old man ears going. Now back to what we were talking. We're talking about positivity, and here I am calling Jamie names. I'm sorry, Jamie. I shouldn't practice. So yeah. Anyways, with bad reviews, one thing I like to do is I like to do the meme. So what I'll do is I especially like to do this with angry metal because they're angry. So every time Angry Metal Guy does a bad review of one of our bands, what I'll do is I'll go on to what's the site, Image Flip or whatever. I'll find a picture of a cute dinosaur or like that, and I'll flip out a bad part of the review, and then I'll post it on the meme. I'll tag Angry Metal Guy, tag the band, and it does really, really fucking well every single time. And the most hilarious part is every single time Angry Guy responds, he doesn't mean at all at me. But the bands really enjoy it. It turns a negative into a positive. And I do know there was someone on the podcast that we were talking to. I don't think you were there at the time. Oh, it was Don Walker, and that he also thought it was a real positive way to do it because it doesn't make really fun of the reviewer or anything. All you're doing is you're clipping out the line, posting. Everybody just looks silly in that case, right? So I don't think there's anything wrong with doing it. What are your thoughts on the meme, Holly?
I like the memeing. I get a little bit anxious of doing. I did a Disconnected Souls meme ages ago, and we never shared it because it was a bit savage, and I felt a bit bad.
You still have it?
We still have it. I can send it to you. It was the image I used was the clown one.
There's a lot of clown ones. What clown ones?
It's the one where the guy is like putting clown makeup on, so with each statement it gets worse.
Yep.
So it was a little bit savage, and we didn't post it, but I think I still got it.
I would like to see it, and I might just be a jerk and just post it without telling.
All right. I mean, it doesn't bother me too much if you post it. So
I won't. I'll claim it myself. You pretend to be the nice.
Okay.
No, everybody thinks and I'm the jerk. When meanwhile,
Yeah. This is why everyone thinks I'm nice, because you do all the jerk stuff for me.
Oh, no, I think most people are just waiting for you to come out with a knife, because me and Corey have said so many times how diabolical you are.
Oh.
on the podcast and stuff. But anyways, on another note, before we get on to anything else on positivity, before we get on to next thing.
I think that's everything I can think of.
Cool. I got one last thing to say on positivity. One last thing to say on positivity. Even though she tries to deny it, Holly is a very positive person. She is extremely positive, and she's always does everything in a positive manner. So even though she might come across as being a serial killer, she's actually very positive, and she's one of the most positive people. There's a compliment of the day.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, you know what? In seriousness though, one of the reasons why I do say that you're very positive, even though you don't necessarily always, I mean, you're not like woo type thing, right? Because you're British, but one of the reasons why I do also say that you're very positive is because, like, for example, with the Instagram thing, where you started posting daily, that showed me that you were a super positive person right there, because you took the advice and you just ran with it without even, like, you know what I mean? You just ran with it, and you did a fucking good job. Now you're mad at me, right?
No.
Because I said all these things about you. You really are going to step, aren't you?
No.
I know you're not. So let's talk about the next. What was part 2 we were going to talk about? Communication?
Follow-ups.
Communication and follow-up. Okay, let's talk about this for a second. So as someone who has a cultural, she lives in the area of Britain where they are culturally very reserved, not as bright or as forthcoming as North Americans. How do you feel about follow-up, Holly?
It's not my favorite thing in the world.
I am shocked. I am shocked. Okay, so follow-up, let me just say for definition right here. When I'm saying follow-up, I mean, like, just kind of like going back and trying to respond after someone either hasn't responded or they said they would do something and you want to make sure that they're getting it done. So why do you comfortable?
I think I don't want the other person to feel like I'm putting pressure on them.
Okay.
Yeah, I just feel like I'm bothering people. But I know the reality is a lot of time people do just miss things. So it's useful to follow up because they might just have missed it in the first place.
So what would be the difference between you following up with me and following up with Joe?
I think because...
You do a lot with me. You do a lot.
Yeah, it's because I know you. This is what it is. It's when it's someone that I don't know and I don't know how they feel about being chased about things. That's what bothers me more, I think.
Well, you never asked me if it bothers me. You just did. I'm not bothered. I'm just saying, you never have.
No, I think I just assumed, well, it's part of the job to chase you up.
It is. I'm just saying. Just mention it aside. You've never ever checked with me if I'm bothered. Not once.
Sorry.
I will point out, I've asked you multiple times if you get bothered when I follow up. See?
Fair enough.
See? So, okay, so just taking your... Okay, so you get worried about chasing people you're not sure. So now, and that's just because you don't know them.
And that's mainly what it is, yeah.
Okay. So now, because how do you kind of go from, I feel like I don't know, I can't follow them up, to I feel I do know them and I can follow them up? What is that point, Holly?
It depends a bit. I guess for me, it's kind of, if I've emailed someone a couple of times and had like a couple of responses from them, I can kind of tell from their email. You know, because I mean, pretty much everyone that I've emailed, they've always sent back like a really friendly response. And so it's kind of, I feel all right chasing them up because they're probably not going to be angry about it. I mean, even if they are, it doesn't matter, but it's just kind of something that bothers me a little bit sometimes.
Okay, so we're gonna have a little chat here about that. So
Okay.
no, I'm gonna. You're probably gonna think I'm a dick as usual, but I'm gonna say it anyways. So, do you remember how you got in contact with me?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah. I
that
know.
follow up. That was like
Yeah.
really good follow up. Really good follow up. You got like a full time job out of one
I know.
thing, one little thing, and you got a full time job doing something that you really like doing. I think you really like doing it at least. So, yeah, just want to point that out.
Yeah.
That was
It's good to remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for anybody who's listening who wants to know what we're talking about. So back in March, I think it was, Holly randomly gave me a shout out saying people should listen to something that I did.
I think it was people should join the music marketing mixer group. That's what it was.
Yeah. And I saw this notification from someone named Holly Royal. And I'm like, I don't know who this person is. Just said that join the group. I should probably say. So, first thing first, I clicked on it. Just okay, is this some weird rando? And I look, doesn't appear to be a weird rando, but I'm like, she's another PR. But there's somebody trying to skive off me. Should I tell her to go fuck herself, or what should I do? So I decided to do the nice thing, and I wrote her. And I thanked her for that, and then I even invited her to be on the podcast, even though she was a competitor. At least I thought. So, and then from that point forward, she did the podcast with hire like came full time like a week later. All one message, follow up message. So, Holly, what possessed you to do that then? But to do the follow up, because that was genius and master.
Yeah, see, at the time I really didn't think of it like that. I was just kind of thinking, I don't know, oh, this group's really useful. I was trying to sort of share things from other people a bit more anyway, not to try and be weird about it, just because I thought, oh, it's good to have a mixture of your own stuff and other people's and things like that. And I guess, yeah, I thought, oh, people might genuinely be interested in it. I never thought anything would actually come of it.
I never thought anything of it either. It's like one of those weird it was right time, right, and then boom. So how do I want to phrase this here? So since you learned that valuable lesson about follow-up, how could a band apply what you did to land your full-time job with their follow-up or like a publication or something like that? Because I can think of a lot of it. I want to hear what you're going to say.
I think, yeah, I mean, I guess I think with follow-ups, it's kind of always do it politely and genuinely, because you can tell if a message isn't genuine.
Okay.
Or if it's just been like copied and pasted.
Okay.
I think that's kind of how I'd go about it. I think just, keep following people up, because you never know what's going to happen. And some people might not get back to you, but some people will do.
And some people might give you a full-time job.
Well, yeah, you never know.
Never happen. Weird random Canadian and an American could just pick you up and adopt you and take you.
Yeah.
I'm being a dick. I'm sorry. So let's talk about some other things to follow up. So I think follow up should be done carefully depending on who the person is. For example, I think if you're in a band and you reached out to someone, like let's say I'm reaching out to you because you're also a journalist. I'm going to use you as an example. So what I would do with you is I would email you once, then I'd probably email 2 to 3 days later. I might do one more email, but before that, if I had you on social media, what I would do is first, only if I had you on social media, I would say, hey, Holly, I don't know if I have messages, but I had sent a pitch a few days ago. Just wanted to see if you were receiving it or if my emails are going to spam. I'd say it's something like that. Then if at that point, still don't get back to me, I would probably assume you had no interest. What would your approach be, Holly?
I think, yeah, something similar. With the social media following up, I'm always very careful about it. Like you say, I probably wouldn't do it if you've never spoken to the person before. I mean, it depends. I guess if some people say on their social media, you know, DM me or whatever, then fine. But if it looks like they're trying to keep things a bit more private, respect that and sort of leave it.
Yeah.
Just because I mean, I know like Corey doesn't like when people message her on socials, and so that's a big no-no. But I'm sure people message her all the time, maybe not realizing that she doesn't like it. So,
well, she also has her metal injection that's different from her social.
Yeah.
Anybody found her, probably doing some stealthy searching. Then again, I guess if anybody could look for me, our friends list, but whatever.
Mm.
One thing I also noticed, you said some people do not like to be reached on social media. I think some people have to be extremely careful about how they do it. Because especially some women do not like guys like DMing them, especially.
Mm.
So you have to be kind of careful about that. I have made the mistake where I sent a pitch to a journalist as a follow-up, thinking it was okay, via email, and they thought I was being some weird creepy guy. All I was doing was to get my email, so I don't do that anymore. And then other times, I've also seen that happen to other people where that occurred. But at the same time, most people would rather be prepared.
Mm.
So
yeah, I always do email first.
And also, I try to do either Twitter or Instagram instead of Facebook, because a lot of people seem to think Facebook is like, but I don't know.
Mm.
Meanwhile, I think I reached out via Facebook very, very first time after, even though I just said don't reach out if you're a guy.
Yeah.
Don't reach out.
I mean, I guess the thing is that I did share the thing on Facebook in the first place, so that kind of feels like, oh well, it's fine.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I just violated my own rules. Just I realized. Don't reach out if it's a girl, and don't reach out on Facebook. I did things. So, okay.
I guess one thing I would say is, yeah, like, I mean, I'd probably say don't do this to anyone, but certainly don't do it to me, is just message saying, hey, I hate it. If you message me saying hi or hey and nothing else, I will ignore you, because I'm just assuming it's shitty messages and I'm not.
You know, at 2 o'clock in the morning, before I go to bed tonight at midnight, when you're about to get up, right? Hey, you know I'm going to do that now, right? Just talk with you.
I mean, I keep my phone turned off at night, so you won't disturb me.
What time do you normally get up?
Anywhere between 6:30 and 10, depending on how I'm feeling.
Okay, that's a little bit of a wide gap, because okay, that might not work. I was thinking you're like going to say first thing in the morning and be like, hey, and then you're just going to be like, what does he want? What does he need? What's going on here? I'm going to get a square to do that. Random, okay. Hey, what's up? Or just, how's it going? Or just, hey. No, how's it going? Hey, I don't like. Also, hello, I don't like. I like, we really don't like. This wouldn't be applied to you. Random message saying, hey, kids.
Yeah, that's weird.
It is weird people do that. Or they know people. So, true story. And I'm going to call this person out. The person I used to work with. Actually, I'm not going to say their name because I don't want to get into it. But this person I used to work with would randomly be like, hey, how are Sierra and Gage? That's my kid's name. And I'd be like, why are you asking? Oh, just wondering how they're doing.
No.
Yeah, he thought this was a good way to build rapport. And I would constantly tell him, don't fucking do that. That's stupid. You've never met my kids. My kids don't know you. Why do you fucking care about my kids? It'd be like me randomly messaging you and saying, hey, parents don't.
I don't know why anyone thinks that's a good idea.
I don't know, but he used, and then he would also ask, how's Jody? That's my wife's name. And I'd be like, why do you care? You've never met her. You don't even know what she looks like. Her pictures are on social media.
Yeah.
And like even being known about
I just said her name, but whatever. So, but you know, to be like, how's your? You got like a brother, don't you? I think you got a brother.
No, I'm an only child.
Are you? Why did I think you had a brother? I don't know why I thought.
Well, it's kind of, you are my brother. It's kind of
I'm brother. I'm brother.
closest thing to an older brother I've ever had. So
I'm a mean older brother too. I know.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty nice. Me and Corey are pretty nice brothers and sisters. You got to get that most of the time. I'm in front of you. We do buy you gifts.
You're very nice. Yeah.
We gave you a job. We were like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to justify to myself my meanness now. I'm like, okay, I am nice. But anyways, don't ask people randomly how's their kids, how's your pet, how's your dog, unless you know about the dog or pet. I have asked Gaia that question, how's the dog? Because the dog, she's talked about her dog before, and the dog, she'd been up with the dog. I had a message the next day, and I said, how's it going with the dog? So that wasn't weird. I want to point that out.
Yeah.
What would be some other weird things, Holly, that people shouldn't be able to follow up?
Don't just send a link and nothing else. Because I get that all the time. I just get a YouTube link or a Bandcamp link or a SoundCloud link. Or even worse, I get a SoundCloud link or something and it just has the words, listen to this. Or
I had that last night.
And I hate that. It's like, you ask me, you don't demand me to do this.
People are fucking dicks sometimes, eh? It's
so rude.
Oh, last night, I'm not going to say who the person was, but someone who I've never spoken to it before randomly messaged me on Facebook, and they asked me how I was doing, and then the next thing they wanted to know was, can you listen to my band's music? I've never spoken to this person before, but they wrote, but it was just, oh my God, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, don't do that shit. Don't do that.
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid. Don't do that type of shit. So
I think people sort of don't realize that if you wouldn't say it to someone's face in public, don't say it on social media. Like, you wouldn't walk up to someone you've never met before and be like, hey, here's my Bandcamp link. So why are you doing it on social media?
But here's the this is why it bothers me, is because you and me, we both work professionally in the industry. So when someone randomly sends me a link for their music and they don't tell me what they want, I don't know if they want to, I don't know if they're asking for a critique.
Yeah.
Or if they're asking for assistance with a share. I don't know prices. Like, are they just randomly spamming me? Like, I don't know what the fuck they want. So each time it gets a bit awkward because I write back and I go, hi, are you asking us to promote your music, or what are you doing here? And 99% of the time they're like, oh no, I'm just spamming links basically. It's like, okay. I know, that's what I do every time. Every single time.
Yeah. I should probably do that more. I usually just ignore it, but
yeah, I just do the block because I mean, especially on the C Squared page, I just randomly DMs the C Squared page and they just music, and I write back and I'm like, what are you asking for? And they say, for example, I want a review. I'll be like, block.
Yeah.
Because they didn't take the time to actually research who we were or anything like that. So to me, it's like, that might be rude, but it's just the way I do.
No, I get it, because I don't know, I feel as though with C Squared it should be fairly obvious that we're not a blog. Like, I know some PRs are PRs on blogs, so it could be a bit confusing, but with us I feel as though it's quite obvious. So, I don't know.
That's why I go, block. So, yeah. Okay, so we've got about 10-15 minutes left, Holly, so we'll go for the fun part here.
Yeah.
Are you go? Or was that a clock?
No, I was just seeing what time it was.
Okay. But you're good for time?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. If you're not good for time, tell me. Get off and start messaging me and like, I need to get off the fucking call or something like that. I'm going to be like, dude, you should have just said something to me. Okay, I'll follow up here. So we've got like 15 minutes. And I have a follow-up. I want an opinion on this. So, a really good way for bands to follow up that works is by being active on Twitter. And the reason why I call that a follow-up technique is because
If a band will go and interact with journalists, that can help us with their campaign because it gets the journalists familiar with the band's name. A really good example was back in, I think it was February. I'm not sure what month we released her. You were not working with me though at the time, I know that. A woman named Caridi, was by the name Caridi. She released her album, Work Music. I told her for months to join Twitter, and she absolutely fucking she thought Twitter was stupid. There was no point to it. It was the dumbest thing she ever heard of. There was no point in doing it. I finally convinced her to join Twitter, and I'm not joking you. The first day, she sold 5 albums, and we got a premiere at a really good blog because of the fact that she just simply interacted with a journalist at that blog. It was 5 album sales plus a premiere, really good blog. Yes, that might be a bit of a fluke, but at the same time,
it's a good fluke.
Great fluke. And anybody who has not heard Caridi, you should go check her out. She plays, it's like dark, folky type music. It's not really metal, but she was released on the label. Anyway, really, really, really cool. And we got a premiere. We got 5 album sales just by doing that. And she was like really shocked. She was like, holy, like the easiest thing I've ever done. And that was just from joining Twitter. What are your thoughts on that, Holly?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I mean, I think Twitter's really good for following up with other bands as well. Because, I mean, I'll use DS as an example again. I know there are bands from Twitter that have started listening to us on Spotify or YouTube, or they've even bought our album off Bandcamp, and it's not through press necessarily, it's just through me interacting with them on Twitter. So I think it's a really sort of underused platform. And I see a lot of bands doing the thing of they tweet things, but they don't interact, and then they wonder why they're not getting anywhere. And it is time consuming, and it is a bit fiddly and a bit awkward and stuff, but I think it's worth the time anyway.
Fair enough. What do you think is actually a platform for Disconnected Souls? Out of curiosity.
This is kind of, I think it's alternating between Instagram and Twitter, because sometimes Instagram's really good for us, but then like at the moment it seems to, I don't know, we have periods where it does well, and at the moment it just feels like we're not really doing much on Instagram, but our Twitter's sort of gone really good instead, but then our Twitter will sometimes go a bit meh. So
it seems to me, well, you know what, Holly, you're going to be mad at me. You're only posting old pictures last week or so.
Yeah, the posts haven't been great recently. That is something.
Yeah, I just looked, and you've been doing more. You did a couple of your old photos last week, I think it was. Oh, August 5th. Holy shit, dude, you're like fucking, that's like not 10 days ago here. 11 days, 12 days ago? 11 days? 12 days? Something like that? 17th today? I think so.
Yeah, band photo. Yeah, I know more recently I've been sharing like press photos and stuff on it.
The last was on August 6th. There you go. You're the star of the show.
What? On Disconnected Souls?
Yeah, on Disconnected Souls. I'm looking at it right now. There was a Holly picture doing the rest on the 6th, and then Fletch showed up on 51 mics. And the day before that, you're in the photo. Day before that, with your goofy pictures. Oregon. And then the day before that, with you, that was your highest 101. August 4th. See, I just debugged your whole Instagram for you in like 1 second here.
Thanks.
Like, fuck you, Curtis. And then let me just see your regular Instagram. You must hate with me because I'm like,
no, it's fine. It's kind of, I need a kick up the arse every now and again, so it's kind of useful.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, okay, today I got a picture of a train. Oh, you got something of a train on yours. Oh, but you also had the thing with you playing the keyboard, so that works. Okay. Okay.
I've noticed I'm trying to get into doing reels on Instagram, because I did one that got 1,500 views.
Really?
And yeah, that was like the second reel I've ever posted, and I was thinking, why is this doing well? Maybe so I'm trying to sort of get into the habit of doing them, and then I'll start doing them on the Disconnected Souls as well.
I only see the one reel. I don't even see where the other one is. Oh,
4.
It was where?
Should be like 4 of them, I
Okay.
think.
I can't sort by reels for some my iPad. So.
Ah, okay.
I was also going to say. No, I'm not going to say. So I was going to make a comment. Like that picture that you took of him a couple weeks ago. It was August 9th. He looks like he's a member of Black Sabbath. In the stash.
Fair enough.
He does. He looks like he's straight out of a Black Sabbath album. I just thought it was funny. But you must just hate that I'm on here with you. Just like
Well, it's entertaining.
Jesus Christ. So we got like 10 more minutes left, 9 more minutes left. So what else do we want to talk about follow-up here, Holly?
Trying to think if there's something really obvious I've missed.
I've got one. So what I would suggest, here's one, which is follow up on Facebook. So I'd like to discuss this for a couple minutes here. Because, one thing that Facebook is really good about is it lets you know if the message has been seen. So, but this doesn't necessarily mean anything because many times, like for example, and I'm sure you've got the same thing, you'll see the message or accidentally click on it, not really read it. You'll get 100 messages later. You won't even remember that you got the message. It doesn't show up as read, or sorry, it doesn't show up as being unread. Forgotten about it, and then the other person just assumes you're ignoring them.
Yeah, I'm sure I've had that in the past.
I do it all the fucking time because I've had people message me all angrily. Well, why aren't you answering my messages? And I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. And I'll look, I'll be like, oh shit, message I didn't even see. So, especially with people that like it, or not especially, but also, like if you're out like that, you intend the message, but then something throws you off, and then you just forget. I'm sure I've done this to you. You've probably done this to me. I know I've done it to pretty much everybody where this has happened, and the person's just like, well, why aren't you answering my message? So what I normally do, I don't know how you do it, but like if the message shows it's been read and they haven't responded to me within usually 24 hours max, I'll just do another message saying, hey, you see this, even if it shows read to me. What are your thoughts on this all?
Yeah, I think that's probably a good way of doing it. Because I know what I'm sort of doing, I've got a load of messages on Facebook that I haven't responded to, but I've done the thing of I've like marked them as being unread again.
Yeah, I do that.
So I can go back in a few days and find them all, hopefully.
Yeah, I do the same.
But yeah, so I think, like 24 hours, I wouldn't do, like don't do an hour. Like if someone hasn't responded in 5 minutes or an hour, don't do that.
Unless it's urgent.
Unless it's really urgent, yeah.
I would have no problem doing you or Corey or.
Oh yeah, that's fine for me. Like, if it's just after a review or something, or don't chase me up that quickly because it will put me off.
There's always judgment to follow up. I mean, I think that's one of the key takeaways that people have is that with follow up, you do need to use some sort of judgment set. There too much, be too quick. It can also be too slow. It depends. And like it depends on the person again. So like you have a different viewpoint on how up, but someone else might not. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's just a thing of just because people can respond instantly doesn't mean they have to. And I think a lot of people forget that.
I'm kidding. I understand.
Like, but no, it bothers me that there is with social media this expectation that you have to, have to respond quickly because you can, and it's kind of I will leave it however many days I need to because I've got shit going on or whatever, and I always think I will get back to people when I get back to people, and most people are fine with that, but every now and again I do get those idiots who are just like, why aren't you responding to me? And it's like, you can see on my Facebook, I am working, I am doing a PhD, I am doing everything else. Do you think I have time?
Well, again, it depends upon
It depends who it is.
Yeah, it depends on who the person is. It depends upon what it's for review.
Mhm.
Yeah, that would be.
Because like for me, journalism isn't my main focus. I don't take too kindly to being followed up masses.
Okay, so just clear. What are your orders of priority in terms of communication? Let's hear.
Probably work stuff is probably top.
Good.
So yeah.
Good answer. I like
Which is why I try and respond to you guys like quickly.
Good answer. Good answer.
Yeah, probably that, then band stuff. Just because, like if it's a potential sale or something, I don't want to miss out on it.
Yep.
I don't really get that many messages about uni stuff at the minute, so that's fairly down the list.
Sure.
But yeah, then for me, journalism is just far way down because I don't do that much of it. And the albums I do review, they're kind of like the editors have chosen what they want doing, and I just pick from that.
Yep.
I'm not really open to. I'll sometimes do other stuff, but.
So, and where are you writing now for anybody who's curious?
I'm mainly writing for Madness Degradation and a small blog in Liverpool called The Soundboard.
Oh, I wasn't even aware about that.
Right, yeah, he's the one who I started with because he was a friend at uni.
Okay.
So I kind of stick with him because he's like, he's a friend and I like doing it. And he's very easygoing, so I can just like drop off the radar for a bit and it's fine.
Makes sense. So, okay, so I think we're at the end here. Is there anything else you want to cover? Mal?
I think we've done like the main things.
Cool.
I can't really think of anything else.
Also, you forgot to found out yesterday. You're in trouble.
I forgot to do what yesterday?
You forgot, but I found out you have an upcoming live. Alex from Blow that it's going.
Oh yes.
Wednesday. No, tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow.
It possibly. I made a note of it somewhere. I think it is tomorrow.
I don't have it in front of me, but I wanted to promote it, and I stupidly forgot now what date it was. I think it's tomorrow at Eastern Standard Time. Holly's going to be talking about Blood of Indigo, Disconnected Souls, probably C Squared, other things. I found out that from him. Like, oh yeah, did Holly tell you about it? I'm like, what?
Oh, sorry.
What are you talking about? I'm like, the Holly I know? And he's like, yeah, Holly. Okay. Cool. So I had to publicly call you out, not letting you know.
That's fine. I'm at the stage at the minute where stuff gets organised and I write it down and then I forget about it. So.
Same way. But anyways, I wanted to promote that for anybody who wanted to watch it. And then also anybody who's watching, you get a chance next week. And every week on Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can tune in and watch Corey on the Not Twitch channel. She is a permanent co-host on the, I think, so you did her first yesterday. It went really fucking well. And you guys should watch it. It goes from 4 to 6 p.m. No, sorry, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Monday. Anything else, Holly, before we wrap up?
I think that's everything. I think.
Cool. Okay. Well, talk to you later.